In this video, I'm going to show you guys an ancient powerful technique which have the potential to give the experience of awakening almost instantly. Recently, I have heard about this practice which had an immediate profound impact in my world, and the interesting thing is when I started to learn more about this, I started to see the significance of this technique in almost all ancient cultures, and at the end of this video, I will show you guys exactly what the method is. But before that, we must fully understand how this method originates. So throughout this video, I will show you guys every details you must know to master this technique. So please make sure you make some time to watch this video and understand this method completely. The turning point in Venkatraman's life came spontaneously in mid-July 1896. One afternoon, the youth for no apparent reason was overwhelmed by a sudden violent fear of death. It was quite sudden. He was sitting in a room on the first floor of his uncle's house. He seldom had any sickness, and on that day there was nothing wrong with his health, but a sudden violent fear of death overtook him. There was no reason to account for it. He just felt he is going to die and began thinking what to do about it. It did not feel like consulting a doctor or his elders or friends. He felt that he had to solve the problem himself then and there. The shock of fear of death drove his mind inwards, and he said to himself mentally, without actually framing the words, "Now, death has come. What does it mean? What is it that is dying? This body dies." And he at once dramatized the occurrence of death. He lay with his limbs stretched out, stiff as though rigor mortis had set in, and imitated a corpse so as to give greater reality to enquiry. He held his breath and kept his lips tightly closed so that no sound could escape, so that neither the word "I" or any other word could be uttered. Well then, he said to himself, "This body is dead. It will be carried stiff to the burning ground and there burnt and reduced to ashes. But with the death of this body, am I dead? Is the body I? It is silent and inert, but I feel the full force of my personality even in the voice of I within me, apart from it. So I am spirit transcending the body. The body dies, but the spirit that transcends it cannot be touched by death. This means I am the deathless spirit." All this was not dull throughout. It flashed through me vividly as living the truth which I perceived directly, almost without the thought process. I was something very real, the only real thing about my present state, and all the conscious activity connected with my body was centered on that I. This is the story of awakening of enlightened sage Ramana Maharshi. DMT or dimethyltryptamine, which is a naturally occurring psychedelic compound found in trace amounts in the human body and more specifically present in and released from the pineal gland. It is a hallucinogenic compound that play a role in dreaming, creativity, imagination, and states of deep meditation. Also, it can induce intense visionary experiences. In tantric texts, Bindu Visagra is the psychic center at the top of the head towards the back, but the same plane where the third eye is located. The Bindu chakra is the primal point of appearance of clear consciousness that exists beyond time, space, energy, matter, or form. It represents a very subtle level of consciousness. Bindu holds our life force within. It is the center of where our life nectar, Amrita, is produced. Amrita is said to help yogis obtain enlightenment. Now, some proponents of DMT suggest that it is released in high quantities during birth. Another intriguing proposition is that DMT may be released at the time of death. It is theorized that the intense and otherworldly experiences reported by the individuals who have undergone near-death experiences may be influenced by the release of this DMT. Neuroscientists through various studies have already shown that our nervous system cannot tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real experience. In both imagined and real experience, the nervous system reacts automatically to the information given to the forebrain, and the body acts accordingly. So the question is, by virtually creating an experience of death, is it possible to experience the awakening? If all these are true, during our death, we are actually going to face an opportunity for liberation from the chain of karma and life cycles. If we are duly prepared, I can promise that the moment of death will be an experience of rejoicing. If we are not prepared, it will surely be a time of fear and regret. Anian Rinpoche. I was really close with my grandfather. All my beautiful childhood memories are deeply related with him. So at the beginning of this year, when he suddenly passed away, it kind of shook me in a way that I didn't expect. It is not like that I didn't know everyone is going to die, I'm going to die, but at that moment I understood how ignorant I was, and most of us are towards the ultimate truth of life. That's why I started reading and understanding more about death. All great philosophers, even the Western philosophers, had always used the practice of embracing mortality as a tool for attaining the most valuable insights about life. But the Eastern philosophers took it a step further. One thing that instantly I experienced in me as I started doing this practice, which I am going to show you guys, is drastically there was a reduction in the amount of time I was wasting in my life. But the most amazing thing that happened was I was always in search of my purpose in my life very rigorously. But when I started to start this practice, I started experiencing that I kind of stepped back and all the profound answers and insights I was looking slowly started coming to me its own. All I have to do was just observe it, and I thought either it's a coincidence or just my delusions. But when I read more about this, these are the two important changes that a practitioner of this method will start experiencing if done this religiously. I am talking about one of the most powerful Buddhist practice, the Maranasati. Maranasati, mindfulness of death, is considered a primary practice for mindfulness and awakening. It is said that Buddha declared, of all the footprints in the jungle, that of the elephant is supreme. Of all the mindfulness practice, mindfulness of death is supreme. Buddhist schools have expanded the meaning of Maranasati to include various visualization and contemplation techniques to meditate on the nature of death. The cultivation of Maranasati is said to be conducive to right effort and also helps in developing two peculiar senses. First one, samvega, spiritual urgency, and second, nekama, renunciation. Now we can practice Maranasati in different ways. I have made a short note about how I practice Maranasati in the description. Also, I have made a guided meditation, which was the tool I used especially at the starting stage to really go through that experience, which you can find here and in the description. Also, let me know how you felt after starting this practice. Stay blessed, guys.